Trade season is starting to heat up, with Jaren Jackson Jr. being the next star to find a new home, so the Memphis Grizzlies sent him Konchar, Jock Landale, and Vince Williams Jr. to the Utah Jazz for Walter Clayton, Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, George Niang, and 3 first-round picks. So let's talk about it. I don't know where to start. The Jazz made the trade, so I guess I'll start with them. His trade has come out of nowhere. Not just the Jazz swooping in and securing him, but the Grizzlies trading him to begin with. I would have bottomed out a little more if I was Utah. I would have traded Lauri Markkanen at the peak of his value and tanked for at least one more year. But clearly they think the young core, Keyonte George, Ace Bailey, Walker Kessler, Bryce Sensabaugh, Kyle Filipowski, and Isaiah Collier is good enough, and I can't really blame them. But I just would have waited a couple more months to potentially get a Darren Peterson, AJ Dilbanza, for a Cameron Boozer before I trade for a star player to partner the young core and Lauri Markkanen. But they were able to get a defensive player of the year caliber without giving up their best asset, which is their first-round pick in the upcoming draft, so I can't really be mad at it. I do have a question mark about the fit. Kessler and Jaren are both good defenders, and Jaren is at his best defensively when he's playing in the 4 as a roamer, instead of the 5 as the rim protector. But pairing those two with Lauri on the court together does have concerns, as all 3 of them are pretty slow and can be caught flat-footed. It's especially concerning when Ace Bailey and Keyonte George are the other starters, but it's probably nothing, and I'm just nitpicking, considering Jaren is an elite defender, and Walker Kessler is a good defender when he's healthy. Trading for Jaren is especially risky when your first-round pick in the draft is top 8 protected, and if you drop to outside the top 8, which is highly unlikely that Jaren makes that much of an impact, but anything is possible. The Jazz haven't given up that much to get him either. Parting ways with Walter Clayton 3 months into his career is tough, but that's the price you have to pay for a guy that can take your defense to another level. Taylor Hendricks hasn't looked good offensively so far to start his career. His best offensive year was in his rookie season, where he averaged 7 points on 45% from the field and 37% from 3 on low volume. Kyle Anderson and George Niang, who are salary fillers and 3 first-round picks, we'll get into later. They didn't even have to throw in Cody Williams. He hasn't been good, but still extremely young. They also get good depth to go with this trade. Vince Williams Jr. is a solid 3-and-D wing and has a lot of playmaking potential. And Jock Landale has been one of the better backup centers. And John Konchar is fine, but probably won't see the floor much. The new look Jazz lineup will look like this: Keyonte George at point guard, Ace Bailey as shooting guard, Lauri Markkanen as small forward, Jaren Jackson Jr. at power forward, and Jusuf Nurkic at center, with Isaiah Collier as the backup point guard, Bryce Sensabaugh the backup shooting guard, Vince Williams Jr. the backup small forward, Kyle Filipowski the backup power forward, and Jock Landale as the backup center, with John Konchar, Cody Williams, Svi Mikhailuk, and Kevin Love fighting for rotational minutes, with Walker Kessler coming back next season. The amount of draft capital the Grizzlies have gotten in the last couple of months has been insane. We rarely see teams blow it up in the middle of the season, but I'm glad the Grizzlies have taken advantage of players having the most value. Unlike other teams, like the Kings and the Bulls, the Grizzlies have committed to a rebuild, and there's still more to come, more than likely, with a Ja Morant trade happening at the deadline. I thought Memphis's return, player-wise, was pretty underwhelming. They got back Walter Clayton Jr. He has potential, and I do think he can become a solid player in the league, but he's already 22, which is pretty old for a rookie. If you're going to get the best out of him, he's best as a scoring guard off the bench. They also get Taylor Hendricks, who is still young. He's only 22 years old, but his offense has not looked good to start his career. He's only averaging 5 points and 3 rebounds this season, in only 15 minutes a game, shooting 45% from the field and 34% from free. But his defense has been elite in his young career. He's basically Jaren without the offensive production. He has a lot of length that he uses to get in the passing lanes and to contest shots. He can guard 2s through 5s effectively, and he's a strong weak side rim protector with great timing on blocks, just like Jaren. He does have potential to stretch the floor, but I don't know if he'll ever be a consistent threat from beyond the 3-point line. They also get 3 first-round picks that could become anything. One of the picks in this trade is the most favorable between the Cavs, Timberwolves, and Jazz, and there's no certainty the Jazz will be good next year, even after adding Jaren and the draft pick in the upcoming draft, so the pick could still be valuable. The second pick is a Lakers pick in 2027. Who knows how good or bad the Lakers will be by the time this pick comes around. They have a weirdly constructed roster, and it could take more than a year to fix, especially knowing the Lakers GM. And the last pick is the Suns pick in 2031. That first round pick is even more of a wild card. The Suns have a pretty nice core, so they'll probably be a good team, which means the pick probably won't be that good. But anything can happen in 5.5 years. I don't hate their return for Jaren, but I also don't love it for Memphis. I would have asked for Cody Williams if I was the Grizzlies. His career started off rough, where he didn't look like an NBA player at all, but he's shown flashes recently and I would have taken a swing on him. But Memphis do have a ton of wings already on their roster. The new look Grizzlies lineup would look like this. Ja Morant for now at point guard, Cedric Coward a shooting guard, Jalen Wells a small forward, Santi Aldama a power forward, and Zach Edey at center, with Ty Jerome the backup point guard, Walter Clayton the backup shooting guard, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope the backup small forward, Gigi Jackson the backup power forward, and Taylor Hendricks the backup center, with Scottie Pippen Jr., Cam Spencer, Brandon Clark, Kyle Anderson, and Georges Niang fighting for rotational minutes. That's going to end this video. Let me know who you think has come out the better of the trade and just your thoughts in general in the comments below. And make sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.